Hi, and welcome to Mama Isis podcast. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm doing a medium and tarot reading on Jason Bradley DeFord, and the public would most likely know him as Jelly Roll, the amazing rapper. I was sifting through rappers and which ones had been replaced both on a physical and spiritual level, and I came across Jelly Roll, and I thought, wow, my heart just sunk and I got this heavy feeling in my heart. I noticed myself to used to like him, and then something completely changed about my demeanor towards him. And I thought, wow, this guy was replaced. If he wasn't replaced, then why else would his dead spirit be talking to me tonight? So we'll get into the card of when I was laying on my couch and Jelly Roll was basically telling me how he was murdered. And he said, Julie, please don't tell how I was murdered because it was just so brutal. And I told him, I said, well, this will make a difference if you tell the public this or you let me. So he first went into talking about his sister, how his sister hooked him up with these people. Apparently, they were really dangerous. Maybe he wasn't fully aware of that. And he seemed to just kind of be a little upset towards his sister just because of the whole situation of everything that had happened. But he didn't want his sister to know the brutality of his death. He was aware that going into being really, really famous, there would be homosexuality that he would be a part of. And he was aware of that when his sister had hooked him up with some sort of government people. He said he was under the impression that he sees the overstreets for some type of aesthetic work or something like that. And I don't know if you all have ever heard of the Overstreets, but I have spoken about Paul Overstreet and his family, about the evil that resides there in the music industry. As far as tarot readings, the tarot readings have come up that Paul Overstreet and his family are into replacements, deep into government, human trafficking. There is pedophile farms, and on and on. He kept saying, well, maybe it was that I just talked too much. Did I just say something? Is that why they killed me? What did I do? And he said, well, I knew that it was something they were going to change me. They were going to put me in something. And he explained that it was more like a tanning bed. And he said that there was this really, really bright light. Apparently, when they put him through this, they said, here, step in this. When he went to go meet these people, he's thinking there's going to be some sort of aesthetic change. I'm going in this for whatever reason. He's trusting these government people. Well, he gets in this thing that looks like a tanning bed. And he says it was just such a bright light. And then he is going on saying, like, well, maybe they killed me because was one of the Overstreet people jealous of Bunny? What was going on? So he kept going back and forth with that. And he said that he not only remembers the bright light that they used on him in that tanning bed, like it must have been a different kind of light that was just really bright. What he didn't want me to share with the public, and I'm going to, and I told him that in order to make a difference, we need to share these things. He brutally died and he remembers it. So whatever they did to him by putting him in that tanning bed was how he brutally died. And so going through and talking with Jelly Roll, he has these spirits or demons that come through that really freak me out. And, spirits like, well, you should be scared of them. And it's almost like they're attached to him or something. Like there was some sort of demonic something going on that I'm not sure about. I've not had this experience before in a medium reading, so this is my first experience experiencing something demonic talking to me through a medium reading. But every time I talk to Jelly Roll, this seems to be a part of him. So, in through the reading, I'm just flipping through my tarot cards and asking these questions. He wants to know, did they eat me? Were they cannibals that ate me? Is that what happened to me? So, the cards that I had pulled for him are the Aunt Caroline in the upright, the Mother of Sticks in the upright, the Ancestors card in the upright, and the Father of Sticks in the upright. So, basically, what these cards are saying is that, hey, Jelly Roll had made some deals a long time ago, and he must have forgotten about them. Well, he upset somebody a long time ago after forgetting these deals, apparently, that he had made. And these pedophiles had gotten a hold of him. So, what happened was when his sister had set him up for this date, to be extremely famous, that might entail some homosexuality or whatever, it entails. He ran into some pedophiles that didn't plan on making him a part of anything. In fact, they were pedophiles that wanted to play with him. You have to look at it this way. There are people that are normal like you and me. I'm 36. When you have somebody that is extremely old, or they've been around a long time, maybe they've lived long unnatural lives, or they're older, much older, they, are pedophiles. They want to do weird things to younger people. So what had happened was they thought they were getting a deal by his sister hooking up with him up with these people. And what happened was they ended up doing brutal, perverted things to him. But from what I can see from this reading was they didn't do it to him till after they killed him. I think there was testing before the initial meeting, and then during the meeting process, maybe to see if he would do horrible things or perverted things. However, their intention was to get him and do horrible things to him. So when you flaunt yourself out there in the public and you look good and you're attractive, this can also be very dangerous because there's pedophiles like this that want to play with you. Well, they feel like they can't do that unless they end your life. So Jelly Roll must have been mixed up with some terrible people a long time ago, and he must just have forgotten about them. And those people that he had made these deals with in the past knew these pedophiles that offed him. Now, the only thing that Jelly Roll wanted to really tell me was that he loves Bunny and he wanted to have a child with her. That was the last thing that he had said. And he loved Bunny so much. The person that's with her right now is not Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll absolutely loved Bunny and was so good to her. So the way that she's being treated now is not how she deserves. Bunny is going to continue to be verbally and physically abused, but based off of this reading, this is stating that she will be more so physically abused by this fraud that is playing Jelly Roll. Now, there are people that use technology to replace people to sound like them, but based off of this reading, technology is not always used with Jelly Roll. In fact, they can make these things happen through surgery. They made whoever it was that replaced him sound like Jelly Roll. Maybe they took something from his old body to make that possible. I am unsure exactly how they do it. Maybe they go around trying to get people's voice boxes just so they can replace them. Maybe people should go get the US government's voice boxes and replace them. It'd be some karma, wouldn't it? I could tell from talking with Jelly Roll that he loves his sister. So whoever this sister is, I tried to research who his sister was after I talked to him. So whoever she is, he does love her. He didn't want his sister to know how badly he died, but that was just a terrible thing for him, and I think that Jelly Roll was just a very nice person to talk to. the U.S. government, Christians are just so evil, and the public needs to be more aware of how evil they are. I don't feel that these Christians were like the first Christians, but I feel like they, based off of this reading, were very devout Christians. That involves pedophilia, homosexuality, and the basics of the first Christian, which is devastating to the public. I did ask Jelly Roll one more thing about if there was anything he would want to say, any last words just now. And he came through and he said, "My mother wasn't really my mother, and she can kiss my ass." So we will leave this tarot reading on that note. Jelly Roll, you will not be forgotten. You are a beautiful spirit, I believe. Talking to you was a complete honor. And I hope that in your next lifetime, you can try to avoid being famous at all costs. Life is so much more than being famous. And I hope that people out there can see how dangerous it is to be involved with these famous entertainment industry people. It is just better to just be yourself and not partake in being fake, to just be natural and, so what, you're not famous and you have loads of money. At least you can look forward to having an amazing afterlife, and, you can face passing and feel good about yourself. That says everything. Living a good life and being able to pass and knowing that you were a good person. You did the best that you could. Even if you made mistakes, you didn't go as far as these people go in the entertainment industry just to be famous. Because I'm going to tell you something from walking that path. I wasn't willing to sacrifice who I am and what I am and my morals and my ethics. Even though I made mistakes, I'll be the first one to tell you I did. It's not worth it. And Jelly Roll knows that. I know that he regrets a lot. I can see that with Jelly Roll. So thank you so much for listening to Mama Isis podcast. Until we meet again, blessed be.